Okay, ready?
Yeah, yeah.
So this has been a little late coming, but I need to ask you, having seen it, what was your opinions of David Gordon Green and Danny McBride's Halloween 2018?
Oh my gosh. Merry Christmas, Facebook world and YouTube. Our review has come. I thought it was brilliant. I thought they paid great homage to the original film, and I thought they showcased John Carpenter's original intent very, very well. Of course, the the subplot with the doctor, I wasn't crazy about. That kind of threw me for a loop.
I think it did a lot of people.
I'm sure it did.
It's something I've heard brought up a lot, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
main consensus is that they're pretty happy it was a short-lived subplot.
Right, right. And I get it. It was a way to get Strode's granddaughter out of the car. And, so I get it.
So, with that, what did you think of this characterization of Laurie Strode? We've seen throughout the series from 78 to now three different Laurie Strodes.
Yeah.
We've seen original 78 Laurie Strode, which is just a normal girl who happens to find herself in some horrifying circumstances. We see H2O, the product of Halloween's 1 and 2, Laurie Strode, who's
Right.
prepared but also trying to forget the past. And now we have 2018 Laurie Strode, who's very distraught still from the experiences she had of Halloween night 1978, is far more prepared than her H2O counterpart, almost to
Right.
the length of like obsession.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, as a long-term Halloween fan, it's like a lifelong Halloween fan, I should say. What is your opinion of this characterization of Laurie Strode?
Uh, I think it's appropriate. And I think, judging by Jamie Lee Curtis's excitement, she not only was willing to return, she was excited to. I think she was even a producer on it, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Yeah. So, sure, sure. I think that the modern depiction of Laurie Strode is is probably the best. It's I mean, following the original Laurie Strode from 1978, of course, but it's funny. She's gotten progressively more like badass. you know, like, yeah, innocent girl, 1978. Pretty badass in H2O, and then just fucking machine in Halloween 2018. I kind of liked seeing that progression of, and I think I told you in the original video. I remember watching H2O thinking, God, she's prepared.
Yeah.
She's prepared, but politics and everything aside, I do think it makes a good statement about mental health. And because I remember that scene, in H2O after the credits, Josh Hartnett opening up the cabinet in the bathroom and just all these medicine bottles, and of course there's an element of authenticity there, of course, but it's even more haunting and I think it makes for a more powerful story when people blow it off as, oh, you know, it's no big deal, you know, put a Band-Aid on, you'll be fine. You know, especially with the horror we see today, you know, with the, you know, just carnage and chaos everywhere. You know, we tend to think, oh, you know, one night this guy killed, you know, 3 teenagers, you know.
4 people. He killed 4 people. Nobody gives credit to the poor mechanic whose jumpsuit right. Michael stole. He's always forgotten about.
Did you notice I said 3 teenagers?
You did say 3 teenagers.
3 teenagers.
Yes,
and
you
I said
did.
Halloween night.
Yes.
Halloween day he killed 4 people.
But it's still 4 people that he killed.
I know. We're splitting hairs. I love that they named that guy.
They did.
I love that they...
the fandom never lets me down.
The fandom... Michael Audrey Myers. And it's like...
Just like how they gave an entire backstory to Bucky, the power plant technician that got killed in Halloween 4.
Oh my, they give a backstory to that guy?
He's got his own dedicated Wikipedia page on the official Halloween wiki.
Get out of here, really? Yeah. That's awesome.
It gives a story about who he was as a family man, his life story, the wife he left behind, his 2 kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's great.
But anyway, no, powerful story. Scared the crap out of me.
What did you think in the terms of the gore of Halloween 2018 as Halloween in the terms of H1 and H2O, and in terms of gore, they're pretty tame by horror movie standards, especially the first one, as the only blood that is ever seen throughout the entire film is when Laurie gets stabbed in the arm by Michael Myers.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
That's the only real blood we've ever seen.
That's it. Yeah.
In the film, and this one kind of had an excessive, not too much as some horror films might today. If anything, it might still be tagged as a tame horror film.
Right. By today's standards, I just saw, that movie, Possession of Hannah Grace, and that, and a lot of horror movies just now are just gross. They're just disgusting. They're just, it's like, let's look at, human bodily functions and stuff like that, and for the most part, I thought, okay, yeah, Halloween, 2018 isn't that bad. It's there's blood splatter here and there. The one part I didn't like, spoilers. The one part that I wasn't crazy about is where Michael stomps the doctor's head with his boot. And just brain splatter everywhere. It's just like, okay.
It almost seemed like something out of Rob Zombie's Halloween for a second.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a strange homage to those 2 films.
It did. It was like, yeah. Anyway.
But overall, you're
overall it was fine. I wasn't disgusted. I wasn't like cringing at the blood or anything like that. But I mentioned this too in the original video, is that I thought that the one of the scariest things about the first Halloween is that so much of it is mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a whole lot of blood and there's not a whole lot of gore. It's just you're seeing the guy do what he does, and he's not necessarily gruesome about it. But he's methodical, Anyway.
So aside from the performances by Jamie Lee Curtis and James Jude Courtney, the new Michael Myers, how would you say that everyone else fared?
I thought it was good. I thought the performances were really, really good. The woman that played Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, I thought did a wonderful job, especially at the very end. You know what scene I'm talking about. I loved the little kid in the house.
I wanted more screen time with that kid.
Right.
Oh, he was the best part of that whole film.
I thought that, just for a minute, I thought it kind of took away from the authenticity of it. Like, that kid would be scared shitless.
Yeah.
But
just for a second. Yeah. But it was was pretty good all the
Yeah,
same.
it was nice to have
A sensible character in a horror film.
a comedic, a comic relief.
That doesn't die.
If nothing else. Yeah, that doesn't die.
Relief that doesn't get killed.
But no, I didn't think there was anything, worthy of, let's look at bad acting from horror movies. It's game over, man. or what's the one? Oh my god.
Yeah. The Troll 2.
Yeah.
So then, what was your opinion of Jamie Lee's performance, taking on the role of Laurie Strode again after 20 years away from H2O?
Yeah. Beautiful. I thought she did a great job. She was so committed to the character. And I look at her and I'm amazed. I'm like, that's the same woman. That's the same woman that played that innocent little girl in the original, and look at how versatile she is. Because it is a completely different person. Completely different. And yet the same.
Yeah, elements do show up of the original Laurie Strode, such as the dinner scene where she talks about how the granddaughter was in the same honors class that she was, and she has that moment where the original Laurie comes out and she's like, I was in honors class too, and now she was really proud of that.
Yes.
And for a second she had that softness to her voice, and then she's straight back into tough Laurie.
That's right. And her brilliance has I mean transcended and grown from innocence and from book smarts into an equal understanding of street smarts and an equal understanding of how to survive in this world. Now it's excessive and it's paranoid and it's freaky, but she didn't die.
No, it gave her the upper hand in the end.
Yeah, she's gotten away from Michael twice, the only person ever to do that, ever. Yeah.
So then it comes to the most important question. What is your opinion of James Jude Courtney's performance as the Shape?
Oh, flawless. By sheer performance standards, it was flawless. He was so mechanical and so methodical in everything he did. And he paid homage very well, very highly to Nick Castle's performance, I thought. What about you?
We'll get to that when I switch seats with you.
Gotcha. James Jude Courtney's Michael was scary as hell. I thought he did an excellent job.
Now, as a composer yourself, what is your feelings on the new score that John Carpenter, his godson Cody, and I believe Daniel Barnes, if I have gotten the last name incorrect, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen, have done for this film? Because it is very in keeping with Carpenter standards in the fact that it's much more synthesized than it is normal.
Right. Well, yeah. That's Carpenter's main deal is the keyboard. That's what he operates from. But the things they did I thought were so cool. They took an electric guitar and a violin bow, and played the electric guitar like a violin, and that gave some of those distortion, deep, very scary, very dark sounds that you heard. I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
They learned how to do that from The Dark Knight.
Did they?
Yeah, that's how they achieved the Joker's theme in The Dark Knight.
Really?
That's actually a very common practice.
I did not know that.
Wow. In alternative music, also known as avant-garde music in some circles, that is a very common thing to do. Is to take two completely different elements of music and find a way to bring them together. So
that's awesome. I did not know that. Look at the musician getting schooled. Yeah.
So overall, you would say that the score was what out of 10?
10 out of 10. John Carpenter was behind it. There's it's hard to get it wrong if the original composer is there calling the shots.
So then overall, out of a score from 1 to 10, what would you give Halloween 2018, or as many of the fans are deeming it, Halloween H40?
Halloween H40, right? I'd give it a solid 9. I'd give it a solid 9. Um, you know, with the exception of at times, excessive gore and with the weird doctor subplot thing.
Mm.
Just those two things aside, I didn't see much flaw with the movie at all.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your opinions.
Thank you.